always excites the crowd, doesn't it?
There's a market for it. Violence sells.
Oh, I love violence.
This may well be the world's second oldest profession. The Ultimate Fighting Championships have been called brutal and barbaric by some and heroic and noble by others. Whatever you call them, this is the newest incarnation of our oldest sport, man-to-man blood combat. The air is thick with sweat, anticipation, and spilled beer. Thousands fill Detroit's Cobo Arena with a roar. And parties begin in over 250,000 homes across the country as fans gather to watch one of the highest-grossing combat sports on pay-per-view.
I mean, like Mike Tyson wouldn't last 2 seconds in there with these guys.
The UFC is in the house.
Here we go! Yeah!
Fans may think they're watching one of America's newest, hottest events, but blood sports go back thousands of years. The Mayas fought for their lives in ball games. The Greeks for their honor in the pancration. The Romans for the state in gladiatorial contests. But this story is about us. What is drawing millions of modern Americans to the bloody games? The afternoon of the fight, and we can feel the tension building around us. We step aside as the fighters stalk through the arena. They don't chat much. They use a combination of the world's most deadly fighting styles. Martial arts, wrestling, boxing. They have to know it all. Gary Goodridge, 4th-degree black belt.
They're not finished with these, eh? Because there's a lot of dangerous spots in here. Quite a few of them.
Mark Hall, 4th-degree black belt. Koji Kitao, sumo wrestler. Then, the fighter arrives. The man, Ken the Rock Shamrock.
Outstanding.
He's the reigning super fight champion, a shoot fighter, a master of submission holds. He's had 5 wins in the last 3 years, 2 draws and 1 loss, one of the world's elite fighters.
This is what I like doing.
With his wife, Tina, and his adopted father, Bob, always at his side, Ken rolls in like he's looking to buy the place.
This is good.
In his fans' eyes, he already owns it. Tonight, he'll defend his title against your worst nightmare, Dan the Beast Severn, Detroit's hometown boy. There's bragging rights and $50,000 on the line.
Everything's going good. My biggest test is tonight. So, it's going to be a sold-out house, a lot of pressure, do good.
That is, if the fight goes on. First, the UFC has to fight for their right to stage the event. They're up against attorneys general in at least 4 other states who've banned it.
The reason why most people don't want it in their states is that they are repulsed by it, very purely and simply.
Sports psychologists who say the violence spills into society.
And I think some people go to Ultimate Fight and see somebody get killed because the potential for the danger is there.
And the state of Michigan in court the day of the fight, trying to stop the event.
The law generally frowns on violence, even when the parties consent.
What is it about the UFC that has stirred up such passion against it?
When you think about it, boxing is sanctioned, wrestling is sanctioned, martial arts is sanctioned. This combines all 3, and it bothers people.
The hype is that it's no holds barred, no time limits, no rules. The fans eat it up. Though most people here know there are time limits and there are rules.
You can't bite, you can't gouge, and you can't get them in the crotch. So other than that, it's a free-for-all.
Despite the talk about blood and anything else, nobody likes to mention that it is honorable in Ultimate Fighting to surrender. 80%, 81% actually of the fights end with a man tapping out, surrendering.
Ring doctors, fighters, and promoters we talk to say gloves make the pounding worse, and that could mean permanent brain damage.
Without a glove, you can't hit that hard. Without a glove, boxing would not be what it is. You could not constantly punch a man in the head with your bare hand.
Oh, he's... I told you, oh my God!
Blood will flow in the octagon tonight, from broken noses and battered faces. The dark stains spread across the mat, smearing ring personnel who wear protective gloves. In the age of AIDS, when blood can kill, fighters are tested for HIV and hepatitis before they arrive. When you watch the fists pound and the arms crush, do you see savagery or sport?
You want to think that you're part of an extremely brave people, that these are the virtues that made you great. And you go down and you watch them in the arena and you come away from that feeling good about yourself.
For me to go out and step into the octagon in the ring, be able to fight somebody bigger and stronger and with more experience than myself is a mountain. And I'm going to find a way to tame that mountain.
But the audience doesn't care about them.
This is Mortal Kombat! Finish him!
The audience doesn't identify with them as people or as human beings.
Break his legs!
The audience is there to see blood and mayhem.
Step out his face!
So what they're doing, in a sense, is prostituting themselves.
Iraqi violence, boxing's violence, football's violence.
Just hours before the fight, the Michigan court says the fight will go on.
Ultimate fight, baby! Make it legal!
But there are conditions. A couple extra rules to try and rein in the violence. No closed hand strikes.
Open hands! Open hands!
And no headbutting.
Watch your headbutt! Knock the headbutt off!
The fighters had a hard time remembering.
Should we be past this?
Oh, we certainly should be past it. But then again, we should be past war, we should be past crime, we should be past poverty, but we're not.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The end of the night, the super fight is announced, and the crowd erupts. Ken marches to the octagon, his face set hard in a fighter's mask.
the big one, you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
Powerful and dangerous, they can't afford to make a mistake and dance cautiously for 30 minutes trying not to. The audience gets ugly after only 5. The crowd is jeering and chanting. The fighters look for an opening, a weakness. The fans want blood. They slam into the fence. Ken shoots in for a leg hold. Dan drops, forcing Ken to the mat. But the clock runs out.
We have to go to a judge's decision.
Winner, Severn, by judge's decision.
It's great to be a champion. It's not so good to be a loser.
We said this story is about us. The fighter who must climb the mountain. The fans who want to know someone can. We may despise the violence, but like the ancients, we embrace the champion.
Are you ready, Detroit?
Since we first aired this story last fall, a few things have developed. Ultimate fighting has now been banned in 5 states, and fighter Ken Shamrock has left the octagon and entered the ring. He's now a professional wrestler. The American Edge will have more about playing the odds in a moment.
Next.
50 years later, how quiet it is out here.